Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. What we're going to have today is something that is present every time we open A Course in Miracles, or every time you're in communication with Jesus or your inner teacher or your guide or guides or whatever you call it. Every time we find ourselves engaged in this compendium of practices that we call spirituality, each and every time we're invited to lean into our true power, our real power. Another way of saying this is on each and every forgiveness opportunity, each and every act of kindness, each and every act of love, including our thoughts of love and forgiveness, our joy. Every time we're accessing a power that we often take completely for granted and deny. We're very fond here in the world of keeping our limitations. We heap one limitation after another upon ourselves, and we do it on the daily, habitually, in fact. And in fact, we hardly even think about it sometimes. But because you're here, take a moment and think about what we've wrought here on this spinning ball of rock, which, by the way, is itself a limitation. We like to play it small and what we deem to be comfortable. And the problem becomes immediately apparent, doesn't it? Because in this supposed comfort, you're uncomfortable, dissatisfied, and eventually we all become dissatisfied or upset, frustrated. And we're drawn to this thing that we refer to as spirituality because deep down we know that there's more to it than all of the limitations that we've heaped on ourselves. There's more to it than our Monday calendar of Zoom meetings and appointments. Of course, there is. There's more to it than that past due bill that is on your list because, well, you just remembered you forgot to pay it and you got to do that today. There's more to it than that. I mean, we all could be having fully blissful and prosperous lives. I mean, we all appear to find ourselves, emphasis on the word appear, to find ourselves in a different place. You could be rolling right along in terms of your happy, loving, and fulfilling relationship, in terms of your financial situation, your prestige and social status, the quality, the newness, and the IG worthy shininess of all of your fancy toys, all of that. I mean, you could appear on the surface to have it made, but does that mean that you have it made where it really counts? In the mind? Exactly. And it is this dissatisfaction with all of our limitations that creeps in and has us looking for a solution. It has us looking and asking for help. Well, help is here. It's here. And you have access to this always, at all times, but for the asking, because this help is part of your mind. It is. It's part of our mind. What I refer to throughout these videos as your inner teacher is, in fact, all of our inner teacher, part of our mind. The Holy Spirit goes by many names. You may call the Holy Spirit a multiplicity of names, should you wish to do that. If you find yourself more comfortable calling the Holy Spirit your council, your board of directors, and your team of holy awesomeness, so what? No problem. They're all just names. Do whatever you want to do on that. A name means absolutely nothing. In fact, it's a collection of sounds, a label. It's not the thing that it represents. That's for sure. Language, all of it, is symbolic. We're using it right here to communicate with one another. And there is absolutely no mistake that the language that we're using happens to be one of those very widely spoken on this spinning ball of rock. There are no accidents in salvation. There are no accidents at all. You're here. You have tapped into your power. The way this works is, in fact, quite simple. And the way that we complicate it is entirely predictable. But when you bring a very truthful, open mind to the table, in other words, complete honesty, which I invite you to bring at all times, we've got to realize that we're choosing not to access our real power. So we have a choice, all of us. Each and every one of us has a choice right now between exactly two options. There is one choice. There are two options. Everything else is a derivative of this one choice. You want it simple? It is simple. We're the ones that complicate it, thinking that it can't be so simple. Of these two choices that we have, there's one decision that we have to make. Of these two options, one is real, the other is not. So why, you might ask, do we continue to choose the unreal? Well, it is a choice. You could, and people do, and perhaps you're doing it right now. I mean, you can identify yourself on that one. That's what we do. There's a lot of course correction on the spiritual path because our choice closes off the other option completely. This choice can be characterized in many ways. It's the choice between truth or illusion, God or the ego, light or dark, life or death. How about that? Self with a capital S versus little tiny, limited, extraordinarily limited, frail, weak ego self with a lowercase s, an individual self-sustaining survival unit, which is what we want to believe that we are. This is the choice that we have. Truth or illusion, or characterize that in words however you want. Remember what we just said about words. Language, it's symbolic. It's not the thing it stands for. It's a collection of sounds. We're simply using them to communicate with one another here. That's all. Oh, and the form of the communicator is one to which we can relate. Now, you may think he's got gray hair or he's middle-aged or whatever, but what I mean by this is the pixelated image on your screen resembles what we call a human being. It is a form to which we can all relate without being plunged into existential dread. You might be challenged enough by this conversation. I don't know. You might be challenged enough by this course as it is. Expect that resistance on the path. It is the ego. We have exactly one choice and exactly two options, truth or illusion. Here's part of your power coming into play here. When you choose one, you completely exclude the other. You cannot have both. It's one or the other. You want simplicity? Boom, you've got it. It's one or the other. We each have this choice in the present moment. When you say, no, I don't have that choice, you are in fact exercising this power of choice. Choosing not to choose is choosing, isn't it? That's citing for illusion, by the way. So let's take that excuse away from ourselves, this denial, unconstructive use of denial. Our choice is total. That is why this course insists that our forgiveness is either total, all encompassing, or it's not at all. This choice is total. Choose truth. You don't see illusion. Choose illusion. You don't see truth. Choosing one excludes the other completely. 100%. So, can you imagine what would happen? And I invite you to think actively about this. What would happen if you made a habit of choosing truth? If you treated life like a living, breathing, waking meditation where you notice when you get carried away in judgment, in blame, choosing illusion, choosing our little tiny limitation of individuality. By the way, this is, I mean, I just said the world's a limitation. This is a profound limitation. We think it ends right here at this semi-permeable membrane we call skin. Well, the body's not you. You do know that. I mean, this is spirituality that you're into after all, right? So again, we're always invited to bring this complete honesty to the path. It's required. And until we bring it, we're not sufficiently motivated to change our mind. Really, think about it. We're not sufficiently motivated to make a change if we're unwilling to relinquish all of our BS. Put it that way. If we're unwilling to relinquish all our drama, to put it this way, if we're willing to forgive 99.9% of everything that we experience, everything we see in the world that we deem and erroneously, happily, to be out there, we forgive everything. But just this little bit, we decide we want to keep this little hatred for ourselves. Well, forgiveness is either total or it's not at all. That's not at all, right? We can't keep these little hidden secret hatreds for ourselves. We bring them all to the light, and we invite our inner teacher to lead us, to guide us. The Holy Spirit will direct your forgiveness. If you don't feel capable of forgiving what appear to be wars, an abusive ex-partner, historical dictators, politicians, wherever you live, right? If you don't find yourself in the state of mind to be able to do that, there will be things that you can forgive. And we start with those. Start where you are. That famous phrase from world spirituality is directly applicable right here. Our power is so great and so vast that we're actually afraid of it. Now, that doesn't sound very flattering, but when you really think about what's going on, we spend almost all of our time arguing for our limitations, starting with this. Oh, yeah, this is me. This is me. No, it's not. This isn't me. This is a pixelated image on your screen. What's talking to you right now? Not this. It's your inner teacher. When something lands and connects, you may always, always, always count on the fact that it is the Holy Spirit speaking to you. This is the collection of dots on your screen. It is unsubstantial. It is completely insubstantial. It's a collection of pixels. It appears to be a messenger. It appears to be what we call a teacher or a talking head on the screen. There's nothing special about it. We're not a body. You're not a body. You have always known. This course hammers that point home, by the way, if you're not familiar with it. There are 20 consecutive lessons in the middle of the workbook for students dedicated solely to driving home this idea that we're not a body. And in the English language, there's a rhyme scheme that is deliberately placed so that it sticks in our head. It goes like this: I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Okay, what does that mean? Still as God created me. You're not a body. What are you? Who are you? Where are you? Exactly. God is the author. You are the son of God. God's the creator. Like extends like, by the way. Love extends itself. It does not extend hatred. Limitlessness, eternity, does not extend limits. This is a limit. So, what do you do when you appear to be running around as this limitation? Well, you use it to share the Holy Spirit with your brother. You use it to extend love. You use it to forgive. You use it to bring the light that you are and shine it on all of the world for all of your brothers to see. Will some turn their eyes away and race away in fear? Yes, of course they will, but not everybody. Those are the people that you're supposed to reach. So do it today. Your inner teacher will show you how. Not everybody has to turn on a camera and microphone and broadcast on the internet to a global audience. That is my own particular directive here. That's my, well, assignment, if you want to put it that way. Yours can look very, very different. You don't have to hold yourself out as a teacher to still teach. We're demonstrating every moment of every day which choice we've made. Have we chosen truth or have we chosen illusion? Bring the light of truth. It is you. It is you. Bring it at all times and let it shine on all of the world. I do just that. It doesn't have to be grand looking either. It really doesn't. It doesn't have to be grand or what we would deem super IG worthy and special or magnanimous or anything like that. Here's something that I want to have stick in your mind. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. In other words, when you bring the light to somebody, simply smiling at your neighbor and saying good morning is every bit as powerful as walking on water. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. They're all alike. They're the same. There is no difference between thinking a loving thought and walking on water. There's no difference between petting your dog and hugging your pet with love and raising the dead or moving mountains. There is no difference. Each miracle is just that, a miracle. True forgiveness of the Son of God is a miracle. Extending love is a miracle. This is a course in miracles. You can learn this course. You will learn this course. Why? Because we've never left our source. This whole thing that we've wrought and fashioned, that we give our supposed reality to, is in fact a dream. Things look differently when you begin to perceive the emptiness of the world. I hope that you've begun to perceive that today, because if I'm actually trying to do anything, I'm trying to help you disidentify with the ego. However, only you can do that. That's the beauty of this course. It's self-study. Nobody's going to wave a magic wand. The pixelated image on your screen, remember, has no power to wave a magic wand and make you instantly enlightened. This course is not an enlightenment in a weekend hot, sexy workshop on the beach in Costa Rica. Nothing against the beach in Costa Rica. If you've ever been, I highly recommend them. They're quite nice, which is not the point. The point is, you're more powerful than you can possibly imagine. So, how about accessing some of that? Are you afraid to do it? No problem. That's okay. It happens to all of us. Your inner teacher will guide you. You won't get more than you're capable of doing. If it is simply thinking a loving thought about the weather today, or a flower, or maybe there's a hummingbird flying around, or a butterfly or something. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. There is no order of difficulty in loving thoughts. They're all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. Maximal. So, hopefully, this inspires you to forgive, to do this course because you're interested in it. You're here. Yeah. Open that book if you haven't already. Forgive, extend love. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. They're all the same, all of them. Not able to raise the dead today? So what? Don't worry about it. You will be shown exactly what to do. And it will not be more than you can handle. Why? Because our inner teacher is kind and knows what we're capable of forgiving right now. And it's more than enough to start you on the path. Once you begin to perceive the emptiness of the world, you don't go back. You can't go back anyway, especially having watched this video till the end and it's almost over. So something has landed here. What that is, I don't know, but you certainly do know when it hits you. So cultivate your relationship with the Holy Spirit and relax and trust his loving, patient, kind, and certain guidance today. That would be the kindest thing that you could ever do. All right. So I thank you, as always, for joining me. You deserve to cut right to the chase. This course is very, very good about presenting it just as it is. It only looks complicated. It's not complicated. We have one choice in the present moment between exactly two options. And bear in mind that when you choose one, you exclude the other completely. So when people say choose love, yes, just yes. Okay. So along the way with this extremely deep material, by the way, you deserve nothing less than that. Isn't that right? It is right. Of course you do. So questions are more than welcome. Please feel free to leave them. Or if you have a comment, this comment thread here on YouTube is the perfect place to do just that. So please go ahead and do that if something occurs to you. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do that as well. This is the subscription prompt in the corner of your screen. Again, it's an international community. We're going through A Course in Miracles, and well, this pixelated image on your screen is simply sharing the Holy Spirit with you. When something lands, you can absolutely count on the fact that it's Him talking to you. So, what will we all be very, very kind and wise to do? Take His advice, relax and trust, and come back here tomorrow. Again, subscription. If you have not yet subscribed, please do. Welcome to all of you who have recently joined us. And several videos appear each week, which means I'll see you soon. Have a great day.